So VO2 Max is the #1 modifiable predictor of how long you're going to live. Every major wearable tracks it. Until Maximus, no device trained respiratory muscles under real exercise load. All that means is this device was designed to be used during exercise. Maximus increases VO2 max. My name is Jamie Mueller, former NFL player, 30-year biotech executive. Well, the problem is this. Cardiac output and mitochondrial efficiencies, athletes train these all the time. Nobody trains respiratory capacity under real exercise load. What that means is this device was designed to be used during exercise. So what's the gap? Polar, Garmin, Apple Watch, they all measure VO2 max. Maximus actually increases VO2 max. So how does Maximus work? Well, Maximus works by raising your CO2 tolerance threshold. There's chemoreceptors, which are CO2 sensors, located throughout the brainstem, the carotid arteries, the aortic arch, and they trigger rising CO2. The payoff is you breathe calmer, you work harder, you last longer, and you raise your VO2 max ceiling. The technology is dual airflow resistance technology, which basically means you get equal resistance on the inhale and the exhale. 9 levels of resistance from 25% up to 96%. If you'd have told me when I was first started to develop this device that I would be using this at 96% resistance solely, I would have said, no way, not possible. But that's in fact possible because that's what I do. The science is this: recalibrate, tolerate higher levels of CO2, perform at the higher level. Handle more CO2, free up cardiac output, deliver more O2 where it's needed, oxygen, higher VO2 max. What it means, the same workload feels easier. So what's the science here? You recalibrate the chemoreceptors to tolerate a higher level of CO2, and you perform at a higher level. You handle more CO2, you free up cardiac output, you deliver more oxygen where it's needed, and you get a higher VO2 max. What it means is the same workload feels easier. You elevate VO2 max. Your breath work is the last frontier in human performance. This is proof of mechanism. This is a lactate threshold test verified by Polar Heart Strap, the heart rate monitor. At age 57, my predicted heart rate was 163 to 168. This was 100% nasal breathing. Why that's important is most people at 70% capacity, heart rate capacity, they breathe through their mouth because they can't get enough oxygen. And that's a fact. I did 45 minutes and 30 seconds. My average heart rate was 168. My max heart rate beats per minute was 176. That's an example of chemoreceptor recalibration in action. So more proof. 5-year longitudinal data of my VO2 max, 38 data points. From left to right, you'll see that there's less and less data points as you move to the right. That's because I was working for 2.5 years full-time for a biotech company as chief of staff. Importantly on this chart, never did my VO2 max go below very good in 5 years of data. The range was 38 to 51. 38 is close to elite. And then the range over 5 years, the floor was always very good and the peak was elite. Currently, my VO2 max is at an elite status, maintained with minimal winter training. That's important. You do get a little bit of autonomic remodeling that does occur. We don't know how substantial that is, but we know that it's substantial. Patents and industry position. We have 2 issued patents, 1 pending patent, and those patents are issued in December 21, the hardware apparatus. Then we have the AI coaching and patented indications, the adaptive AI protocol issued in September 17, 24. The method patent was submitted last March, and we're still waiting to hear. That's pending. Industry position, I've reached out to Garmin. I've talked to their business development people. They have some interest, but it's not a huge priority for them. I've reached out to Polar CEO, the Whoop CEO. I've not heard back from them. Strategic fit from a 510K pathway would be ResMed, Medtronic, and Philips. And then the opportunities we're looking at are anxiety, COPD, and heart failure. So what's the market look like? Performance, wellness, and longevity. According to McKinsey, total addressable market's $1.8 trillion globally. The serviceable addressable market is $480 billion. We believe that the serviceably obtainable market over a 3-year capture target period would be 12 million, and on the aggressive side, up to 20 million.